Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bevan's Bricks. I got a bunch of crap that's open. It's not supposed to be. Anyway, I hope you're having a good evening. I was kind of in the middle of building and working on this, and I thought I would try and go live for a little bit. Although it's usually very difficult for me to work while I'm talking to people as far as trying to figure stuff out. But I know I haven't been live in a few days, and I wanted to. There it is. And I wanted to go ahead and go live because I know everybody likes to get on and hang out a little bit. So I thought I would do a quick live stream. And bear with me, I am trying to set up a few different things still. Connor Pine, how you doing? Whistler Nelson, Soko, Firebuff Kyle, Brooks Bricks, Whistler Nelson, Kip Hoffman, Aaron Diello, DeLillo. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for signing in. Bricks Crumb says this tower is epic, and thank you so much. I'm actually struggling though with where I'm going to go next. Is what part of my problem is. What I'm working on though, for anybody that's curious, and I kind of tried to have it in focus in here. I want this to be the outer lip for the front landing platform, and I'm struggling trying to make it as strong as I thought I could. So I thought I would struggle on camera with you guys. How you doing, Brian? How you doing, Toronto? I love the shape of it, but it's just I don't have the strength is the problem. I need to figure out my connection point. And that is where I'm playing that is what I'm playing with right now, is trying to figure out a way to bring some plates across. So per usual, I have my pigsty of parts because I've been doing a ton of trial and error. And part of the problem when you're doing a circle like this is you would think that your split would be right down the middle, and it's really not. What ends up happening is you'll have one plate that's going the right way and one plate that's going the wrong way in order for you to accomplish your circle using this particular technique. I'm trying to get that back in camera anyway. So what you end up having is you have some plates that you can bring down into here. You have nothing that you can attach in the center, and then you have a plate that dead ends on the side. What I am trying to struggle and figure out, and I'm going to have to pull some stuff apart, is I need to figure out where I can bring a connection point from here. Usually what you can do is you can use some of these guys, which is the little turntables, and that's what I'm getting ready to try and figure out exactly which turntable I want to remove first. And yes, happy Taco Tuesday. How you doing, Vision? Kyle, I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well also, my friend. But yes, it's definitely Taco Tuesday. And Logan, hey, how are you doing? Aaron DeLalo says, go big or go home. Absolutely. That's what I try and strive to do. It doesn't always work, though, off the first time. There's a lot of trial and error to get that go big or go home crap. I did also, because I know in my last video I was talking about how I don't like the circle around the A. And I did come up with a technique for that. I ordered a bunch of parts for it. And of course, I don't have it handy to show you. But I was going to show you what my test demo of it was. And I don't have it to show you. But I will be doing something with that as well, because I did come up with a much better technique that looks good on that. And John McKinley, how you doing, my friend? And I'm almost thinking... And what I have here is I have a bunch of layers of plates is what we're doing. The plates actually overlap, and they do allow for some rigidity, but the problem is to get the rigidity across the center space, the center span. And actually, I need another part. How you doing, John Suni? because I am not one to give up easily. I am very stubborn. Sometimes it might be better if I gave up a little more easily. Let's see, 1, 2. But that's just not in my nature. And that would give that point of a connection, I think. I think. It's what I'm wanting to do, and to me it's still... Because I got it, the majority of the weight, because here's what I'm trying to figure out for you guys, just so you understand. Because I'm wanting this to support the Quinjet, and the majority of the weight is going to be up on this part of the platform, but I still got to get this to support because I don't want it to flop down. Hey Greg, how you doing? Aaron says, when you get... Aaron says, when you get it mad strong, it's all green from there. Yes, that's the hope anyway. And then Connor Pine says, will you have to take the building off the mill's plate to put it on the base? No. What I intend on doing is the base that I will make it to where I can set the building physically inside of it. And I actually should have moved my camera. I wasn't thinking. Like I said, I kind of did a last minute, though, to log in on the stream. And that will work. If I do, I need a connection point. Chinese food's always good. Well, I can't say always. My youngest daughter is big into Chinese food, and we've been eating a lot of it here lately just because she's always requesting it. But generally, Chinese food is always good. Like I said, I'm just personally getting a little burnt out with it myself. And I am going to try and pull a couple pieces out of here. That's not working the way I wanted to. Thank you so much, Kyle. He says, keep up the great work, Bevins. It looks amazing so far. Can't wait to see it finished and in place. And thank you. It will be a long time before it's finished, though. I think a lot of people have a misconception that it takes just a few days to build something huge like this. And that was one of the reasons me and Charm City Bricks did a build-off a while back. And part of our point in doing that, and again, thank you so much for that $5 donation, Kyle. Part of our point in doing that particular build-off, though, was to try and show people what actually goes into building a mock of a very large size. Now, that particular mock that I did during that build-off, I was actually able to, because I kind of pre-planned some of it anyway, and then because of some of the work that we had done, actually, if I did that, because of some of the work that we had done, or me and him had already kind of planned, there was a lot of things that I kind of just said heck with it and just ran with it, so to speak. 1, 2, 3, 4. That I normally would not have done with that particular build, but because we were trying to get things to show if you could actually complete one, is what I should say, during a live stream, is why I just kind of ran with a lot of the different things that I ran with on that particular build. That would be better off served. But normally, for a really large building, it takes a couple of months, typically, from start to finish, for trial and error, for plotting and planning and all that kind of stuff. And hey, Ned B, how you doing, my friend? Thank you so much for that $2.99. Fist bump to you, buddy. And like I said, because I didn't see you come in, like I said, so I have to apologize because I need. You know what? Let me actually adjust my camera a little bit because it would make it easier for you guys. At least I think that's a better spot for the camera anyway. And then I don't have to keep looking up also. Hey, how you doing, Stephen Divany? And yeah, I actually thought the same thing myself, Mike. and the camera's actually still crooked. I thought, but I did. I thought the exact same thing myself. I thought, that would actually be the start of a really cool Enterprise bridge. And I know I do have a lot of people that do like Star Trek as well. So I may end up using this technique to build some sort of Star Trek ship at some point in the future, because I do agree with you. It would be an amazing, amazing build to do that. Studdington Springs Fire Department says takes him a few months to build a fire truck, and trust me, like I said, I get it. And hey, how you doing? Brett's Builds, Jake Allen, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Legends Builds, hello, hello. Just trying to struggle with my thought process over here. And now that I have that there, actually I can't put that back there either, because I need, so that won't work, or will it work? But anyway, I have been out here messing with this, believe it or not, for probably the last hour and a half to 2 hours. And then I happened to notice what time it was. And I thought, holy crap, let me go live. So that could go on. So that's, no, because that's going to be out of the way also. But if I did that, can't do that. So that has to be. Let's try it. That'll be too long, so I need need a 2 by, there we go, 2 by 6. But that's still going to make it weak on top. And there's my problem. So let's put that back. That's the fun with working with angles. Mind you, there are probably, I shouldn't say probably, there actually are easier ways to do some of this that I'm trying to do. What I mean by that is there are ways you can do an angle, but it's not as, that's my problem, I guess, that I'm trying to work with. There's a lot of different ways to do angles, but the thing is they're typically not as smooth, I guess would be a good way to put it, as, you know what I mean, as far as the direction of the angle. They're a little more choppy. Now, if you're using, and I don't have all the right wedge plates, if you're using wedge plates, you can still actually come up with a new technique. And Lego did recently make, actually, I'll show you that one. For those of you that are aware, this is another way that you can make kind of a large curve. And what that is that's using that new angular piece, just to kind of try and show it up to you. The problem with, and I'm almost debating on using this, the biggest problem with this is trying to fill in these little spots. Mind you, there is a few different ways you can do it. But the other thing is it still gives you somewhat of a choppy look. But keep in mind, it is the perfect width if I was to use this. So this was another thought process that I do have for the curvature on the front. It's just I really wanted to have this super smooth curve. And I had the plan because with me doing the curve on the front, I'm wanting to continue. I don't know if a lot of you guys have seen it or not. On the side of the building, I did this greebling with the grill plates. And what I was kind of looking at doing is carrying that grill plate greebling all the way down and around and through. And with this particular technique, if I can get it to work right anyway, that'll really make it look real classy. And then I'm going to have another, if I can get this to work, I wanted to take another piece of wire, so to speak, and drape it around the front, because anytime that you see the Avengers Tower landing platform, there's always that little extra wire piece that's kind of set out aside from it, and that was something else I was trying to accomplish with this. And yes, Greg says it always takes forever to do curves. I totally agree with you. Scott Splock says he does not like curves. Anthony Perot, hey, how you doing? And that's awesome. Brett Build says he's building a Lego castle. Vincent 396 says that shape does remind me of the Reliant saucer from Star Trek. It would be a good start to that build. And yes, like I said, I actually thought the same thing, and I might even have to try that. But quite a few people have actually said that also, and I definitely agree. Even the regular Star Trek bridge, because it's real easy to make a circle using this particular technique. It's kind of part intensive is the only thing I will say. And yes, I could use some rounded plates as well, but the thing is I'm not worried about the fill as much as I am about trying to get this to connect. And like I said, the problem with the curve with doing this method that I'm doing is it's offset. The quickest and usually easiest way is to use a few of these little guys, little turntables. But the thing is I'm trying to make this a total of 5 plates thick. And part of the reason for the 5 plates thick is this dish is extremely thick when you do the technique that I'm doing and then do the layers. It's not super strong at this connection point. This one right here, this connection point's actually good. It's the connection point, and you guys can't even see what I'm talking about. It's the connection point on this side that's more difficult. And it's because of the angles of the plates. And hey, how you doing, Steven? And that's also why I typically don't work on stuff like this when I'm live, because I like to be in my own head. But like I said, I haven't been live in a while, and I wanted to try and come live and talk to everybody. That's the problem with summer coming. It seems free time is getting more and more limited these days, unfortunately. But with lawn work and all that good stuff, that tends to happen. And I don't like that idea either. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. I'm actually thinking. Got to change the angle of the dangle. Bob Weiss is awesome, and hey, how you doing? Dave Horsby says working on making Mills plates at the moment, and that's awesome. Be careful with making Mills plates though, because once you start, they're generally kind of addictive. Once you see how strong they are, anyway. Logan was saying some 4x4. Already read that comment. I think I'm all caught up on the comment. Oh, and Steve says nice demo with the electrical tape on the rails, and thank you. And hey, how you doing, Whiskey Shred? With that tape, to me, that was actually recommended to me by Charm City, which is a friend of mine. But I have to say, it's pretty strong. I know a few people, I had a few people in the comments on that particular video anyway. They had said something about it gets worn and bumpy over time. I don't see really that being an issue if you're doing it the way that I'm doing it. Mind you, I'm sure over time with the train going over it, it could do that, especially if you have a lot of stop and going. I can see where you would wear spots out. But I personally believe, looking at that, I would say it's a pretty viable solution. Because once you start a train, generally, if you're not stopping it and shutting it off, I don't see where it would wear that tape that quickly. Keep in mind, though, that I am using, well, as a matter of fact, it's this tape right here. I am using stained glass tape, and there are other brands of tape out there that you can use. And because the first tape that I bought, it was actually quite thin. So I would really recommend using the stained glass foil. and not because like I said, I did have another brand which I didn't show that link. I'm sharing this link, but it was actually quite thinner, and I could see where using the thinner stuff would cause problems very quickly. Where that being so thick, I see it being more durable and lasting longer. Philippe, how you doing? Dale, hey hey. Mike says, I want to make a highway of the new road plates. Seems like an easy way to do it. Yes, actually, if you wanted to do a highway with those road plates, it would be fairly simple. Here was the reason that I did not use those for the road or the highway. Number one, I had already bought almost 3,000 1x12 bricks to make my highway was one of the reasons. But it's not that I couldn't have figured out a different use for them because you could still use those 1x12s as the supports underneath that new road plate. My biggest issue, though, is that because I'm building all my cars in 6 studs in width, the new roads are actually a little bit too narrow. Because if you're going to use them in a freeway fashion, you are going to be putting them together to where you have the dividers and all that all together and up a butt. And with that being said, the car's tires on the 6 wide cars, they're actually on both white lines, and to me, it just didn't look right. If you're going to be building a city using a 4 wide car, absolutely that would be the best way to go. And if you're just looking for aesthetics, I mean, and you don't care if it's over the white line a little bit, I mean, go for it too. But me, I generally try to go with a little bit of a wider lane because I like to have a little gray on either side of the car. It's just my own annoyance, if you will. And Greg says, please don't forget about my Rebrickable page, and thank you so much for bringing that up, Greg. For those of you that are not aware, on my Rebrickable page, I just posted my train station. But I do have a lot of other mocks on there as well. I do have it's a Purina dog chow boxcar that I made. Directions are now available for that on there. I have 2 different cars on there. I have a red and I have a orange and black van, and then I also have a white sedan that I built that's on there. I also have my construction. There's a little construction site where it's got the arrow board and then construction barrels and such. And that particular set of instructions is free on my Rebrickable. I also have the little motorcycles, and I don't have one handy to show you. It was chopper motorcycles that I designed, and those are free to download on my Rebrickable. So there is free stuff on my Rebrickable as well as stuff to pay for. But again, thank you so much for plugging that for me, Dale. Whiskey Shred says, do you think in a year or so you will start with the lighting in the city? I honestly don't know when I'll ever get to it. It's like anything, it's about having time. But it's something I'd like to do at some point. I'd actually like to light this building up because I think that would look amazing if it had some lights in it. I guess the biggest thing is if I want to start doing lighting, I basically have to stop buying Lego. And I don't want to stop buying Lego right now because the lighting is going to be very expensive. So I'm just kind of pushing through with what I have going at the moment. Lego Home says he just got the... actually, because they make a bunch of different curves. They do have the R56. Trying to think. There's a 40... I thought it was actually an R60. So it's like R60, 80, 100, and 120. But there is a lot of really nice curves. You are absolutely right, Lego Homes. And hey, how you doing, Alec? No problem at all, my friend. Big and little Lego guys, hey, how you doing? Silverado says, I saw the train station mock, but for $1,300 for pieces. I just can't afford to build it. That's my full stimulus check. Well, I'm glad and thankful that you got a stimulus check. Not everybody gets those. Alex K says, hey, Kyle. Whiskey Shred says, cool. Mike McDonald says, let's get the Avengers Tower built first. And yes, and like I said, I need to do my Avengers Tower. I need to do my highway. There's a lot of different things I actually need to get done, but lighting will be something I'll do at some point in the future. I just don't know when exactly I will get to it. Mike McDonald says he needs a nuclear power plant, first added to the city anyways, that is run by Mr. Burns. I don't know who Mr. Burn is. Big and little Lego guys, how you doing? Dale says, I haven't heard of Trix Bricks. I do have quite a bit of aftermarket Lego track. I'll have to check it out. As far as aftermarket Lego track, I want to say FX Bricks is one manufacturer. Trix Bricks is another manufacturer. And I thought it was BMR. I could be wrong, though. I thought BMR was another person that made it. Mind you, FX Bricks, I believe, is the one that's going to be making the metal aftermarket track, if you're wanting to go with a 9-volt track system anyway. I don't think there's any other aftermarket products that have the metal track, but I could be wrong on that. But I do know that FX, some of that stuff is kind of on a delay, if I'm not mistaken. It's like not till midsummer or so, or late summer or so. Oh, Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. There you go. Sector 7G, sir. I haven't watched Simpsons since I was in high school. So, I mean, I liked it back when I was in high school. I haven't watched it since, though. But, I mean, we're talking over 20 plus years ago. So, probably close to 30 years ago. But, yes, I do know who Mr. Burns is. He was the tall, skinny guy with the bald head and ran the nuclear power plant. And Oshie Entertainment says, hey, my sis just got her first degree black belt, and I want you to be proud. And that's awesome, Oshie. It's very good for her. Very good. Very good. And congratulations to her, because that is quite an accomplishment, because that takes a lot of years to get to the black belt. Ricky Bobby, hey, how you doing? Adam says, release the hounds. But no, like I said, I mean, I do like, don't get me wrong, I love the Simpsons Lego sets. I do have both of them, as a matter of fact. I can see them from right here. I have the Quickie Mart, and I also have the Simpsons house, both. Excellent. See. But like I said, it was the Simpsons were huge when I was in school. As a matter of fact, there was quite a few people that would have the like Bart painted on their car for senior year. Don't have a cowman and all that good stuff. And we actually got in trouble for doing that because our school was kind of anal, but which it's funny, they're not now. The school that I went to was actually garbage now, but Mike McDonald says, I'm not missing much on The Simpsons, that they changed a lot. Like I said, and I haven't watched them since the 90s is the last time I actually turned them on. I really don't watch TV. I just don't have time. It's not that I don't enjoy it. I do like TV. I really seriously, I don't sit down and watch much TV anymore. And thank you, I am Clark. He says, Commander Cody says, nice says sweet t-shirt. And hey, how you doing, Disco Chicken Nugget? Mike McDonald says, I bought my black belt at JCPenney's. And yeah, I know a lot of people used to do that. Actually, like I said, for me to work on this, it's actually hard for me to even work on this and talk. That's why I just figured I'd kind of try and talk more than anything. Disco Chicken Nugget in the house. Into his Ricky Bobby says, I like your Star Wars Return of the Jedi. So I've never seen the S before on it, though. So it kind of messed me up a little bit. But thank you. But yes, that is a Return of the Jedi t-shirt. Yes. And Brooke says, build. Oh, like I said, I don't even know if I can. I'm actually flustered at the moment with this, is what part of the problem is. And I'm about ready to rip the whole thing apart, to be perfectly honest. Do that. I could do that. Actually might let me do that. Now that I'm looking at it, I have to pull this off. That's what I mean by having those little turntable pieces. It actually helps a great deal. Now here's the question with that though, is will I be able to, actually let me, it almost sounded like that broke. So if I leave, might be onto something with that. And I have to go back one more. Actually, that, you know, that might work. Let me get some of this back together now and see if this is going to let me do what I think. And that would be, no, that would be this. And that would go here, go here. That'll go here. That has to stay open, and that can go here, and will, no. But we can put that in there. That. Now that is holding strong. That's what I'm after. So now I want to do another layer. So I'm going to, so how do I want to do this? If I go here, here, here. So I got 1, 2. So I can do this. I think this is going to work anyway. Bear with me for a minute, guys. Am I looking at the wrong? Yeah, I am. There it is. And that's not going to allow that, so I can go there. And then I need a black. That's got to go back here. That's got to go back here. Or do I want to do... Actually, let's change that. So that'll give that more structural rigidity. We put that in there. I can still put my support beam here. And that will double lock that piece. But you son of a... And that's what I feel like lately. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream here, guys, because I'm getting